I think a lot of people feel this pressure right now, like everyone is using AI and everyone is talking about it, and you're kind of sitting there thinking, am I supposed to be doing more with this? Because if you open LinkedIn or you read anything online, it almost feels like if you're just using ChatGPT, you're already behind.
Worry that you're behind with AI, then you probably are.
You're missing out.
Probably falling behind.
Light years behind.
Like you should be building agents or automating your life or doing something more advanced. And that feeling is not accidental. That's what the media has been feeding us. Welcome back to Learn Data Easy. This is where I break down cloud, data, and AI in a way that actually makes sense, without making you feel like you're behind. In this video, I want to simplify AI assistants, what they actually are, what they're good at, and how to use them without overthinking it. So let's keep this very simple. So tools like ChatGPT, Claude, and Google Gemini, they all do the same core thing. You type something, they respond. But what's actually happening underneath is a lot more simpler than what people think. AI doesn't actually know things. They don't understand in the way we do. They've been trained on huge amounts of data, and they've learned patterns in language. So when you ask something, they're not thinking, oh, I know the answer to this. They're predicting what would a good answer look like here. And because they've seen so much, they're very good at producing clear explanations, well-written text, and structured responses. Now you hear people compare these tools all the time. Which one is better? Which one is smarter? And honestly, for most people, they're more similar than different. If I simplify it, ChatGPT is the most generic and widely used, whereas Claude is great for longer, more structured content. Gemini is more connected to Google and search. But I wouldn't overcomplicate this. If you're just starting out, you don't need to pick the perfect tool. Just pick one and get comfortable using it. One thing that might help is knowing when you actually should use AI. And a simple way to think about this is, if something involves writing or explaining, summarizing or structuring, AI is probably helpful. That's usually the sweet spot. And this is the part that matters most, because AI assistants are not useful for everything, but for certain things, they're incredibly helpful. So, for example, if you need to write something, they help you get started. If you have something long, they summarize it. And if something feels confusing, they explain it more simply. And if your thoughts are messy, then they structure them. And this is basically how I use them. Not to replace my work, but to make it easier to start and easier to refine. Because starting from nothing, it's usually the hardest part. Another way to make this click a little bit more is to show you a few things that you can actually do with it. Because I think once you actually see it, it feels a lot more real. So I'll just try a few simple examples. All right, so let's start with something very practical. Let's say I've written a message, but I'm not really happy with how it sounds. Like, imagine this message is for my manager or a client. So I can get this message and I paste it in and I say, write this to make me sound more professional and concise. And you'll see it cleaned up and straight away. This is probably one of the easiest ways to start using AI. Another one that I use a lot is when I have messy notes. Like I have something maybe like onboarding is confusing, users drop after signups, emails not working. And I can paste that in and say, can you turn this into a concise summary with actions? And now instead of my messy thoughts, I have something structured that I can actually use. If something feels confusing, this is also really, really helpful. So I can just say, explain this to me like I'm a beginner, or explain this to me like I'm a 5-year-old. And it will simplify it without making you feel lost. You can also ask more follow-up questions. And you can also have a bit of fun with AI. So imagine I want to write a poem. And obviously the topic I would pick is writing a poem about my dog Argo. So I can say something like, write a short, warm poem about my dog. He's a medium-sized dog with short fur and he loves chicken. He loves coming with me to get a cappuccino at a cafe. And he brings me lots of love and comfort. And then I'll come up with something surprisingly good. It's not something you'll use every day, but it shows how flexible this is. And now we can start to get a bit more visual. So you can also generate images. So I would say something like create an image of someone working on their laptop with an AI assistant as a soft glowing light next to them and a warm and calm atmosphere. And you'll see it actually generate that, which is very, very cool and also very useful if you're creating content. You can also use it for planning. For example, create a study plan for learning data, and it gives you something very structured straight away. You can even connect Claude to Notion if you want something set up there. And this is one of the most powerful ways of using it. Other ways is using it for practice. So let's say I'm preparing for an interview and I can say something like, act as an interviewer for a data role and ask me questions one by one. And then I actually practice answering. You can even take it a step further and say, give me feedback on my answers. So now it's not just helping you write, it's helping you prepare. And you can also use voice for things like this, which makes it feel a lot more natural. Another use case is if you're trying to learn a language. And I could say, speak to me in Japanese at N5 level and test my listening comprehension. This is something I actually do ask because I am trying to learn Japanese. And then you can respond out loud, and it's a much more fun and interactive way to learn.
Hey there, I've got a really great feeling about us teaming up.
Speak to me in Japanese at N5 level and test my listening comprehension.
もちろん N5 レベルの日本語で話しますね。例えば、毎日の生活や簡単な予定、趣味について話してみます。
This is just scratching the surface. You don't need all of this, but hopefully it gets you to a better sense of what's actually possible. There's also something very important to keep in mind while using all of this, and that's AI is not perfect. Sometimes it's going to feel really useful, and sometimes it won't feel that useful. That's completely normal, and one of the most helpful ways to think about it is imagine it's a junior assistant. And this junior, they're fast, they're helpful, and they get you to a really good first draft. But please keep in mind that it's still junior. So you can pat yourself on the back for hiring them, but you still need to review their work. Because sometimes it will get things wrong. Sometimes it will even make up things. And sometimes it will sound very, very confident when it shouldn't. So remember, you're still the one in control. And I think this is the most important part. And remember, you're not behind, even if you're just getting started, even if you're only using one tool, even if you're just asking simple things. Most of the people you see online are showing the most advanced use. And that's not what they actually use day to day. Because the real skill is here. It's not using the advanced AI, it's learning how to work with it. And that takes time. So if you take one thing from this, you don't need to do everything you see online. But we will get to a lot of these topics later on. You don't need to build agents tomorrow, but we can get to that stage later on. Just start simple. Use it, get comfortable, and then build from there. You don't need to catch up to AI. You just need to get comfortable using it. And in the next video, I'm going to show you how to actually get better results from these tools. We'll talk about prompt engineering, but in a very, very simple and practical way. So you're not guessing what to type anymore. Thank you and see you next time.